Well, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about maker time versus manager time and why you're probably getting frustrated if people are booking you in for mid-morning meetings. Hey guys, my name's Ev Chapman and I create YouTube videos on this channel about being a better creator, having a better creative flow, better creative productivity, and trying to manage all of the information that comes at you all day, every day. Have you ever had a mid-morning meeting scheduled for you and then kind of not been able to get anything significant done because all you're doing is waiting around for that meeting? Yeah, that's me. And that's because I'm a maker. So I first discovered this idea of maker time or maker schedule versus manager time or manager schedule from Paul Graham. So makers need long stretches of time to be able to focus, have space, create things, all of that kind of thing. And then on the other side, managers absolutely are okay to box their time into 1 hour slots every day and go from one thing to the next to the next. So as a maker, when you're working with managers and when people are scheduling in meetings and times and all of that kind of thing, it can be really off-putting and it can really be hard to build any momentum either in your morning or in your afternoon because you've got kind of a meeting smack bang in the middle. We're very bad at kind of compartmentalizing that. So as if I've got like a 10 or a 10:30 meeting in the morning, as I'm thinking about what to do, I'm thinking, oh, I can't really work on this, and I can't really work on that, and oh, this meeting's coming up, and I'm going through all these things in my head, whereas a manager doesn't think like that. A manager's just compartmentalizing their time and then going in and then doing the meeting and then going on to the next thing. So if you resonate with that, today I'm going to talk to you about how to be a maker, how to design your days around being a maker, even if you work with managers and even if you don't control your own time. So the first thing that I think you should do if you are a maker is to own it, okay? So really just start to design your days around either a morning maker time or an afternoon maker time, okay? So if you need a long stretch of time in the morning, schedule that in your diary. If you work better in the afternoons or even the evenings, then do that. I try to schedule my maker time in times when I have the most energy. So I'm a morning person. I love to do things in the morning. I'm most awake and I'm most alive and I have the most energy at that time. And so if that's you, schedule your maker times in the morning. I never schedule maker times in the afternoon. It doesn't work for me. I hate working in the afternoon. So I'd much rather just be on meetings in the afternoon because that's kind of where my energy level is. That's the biggest key, really, is to just recognize that you are a maker and that you're not made like a manager, and that you need a long stretch of time for that space and to create and to make things. So the second tip that I have is, if you're a maker, is to let people know that you work with how you work, okay? The easiest way to get maker time into your schedule is to say, hey guys, I work better this way when I don't have a meeting in the middle of the morning or in the middle of the afternoon or scheduled all throughout the day. Can we bunch some meetings together? Can you give me this time in my calendar so that I can have a bit of time to create? The best way to do it is to have conversations, especially if you don't control your time, or if you work with a lot of people, or if your calendar is kind of open and out there that people can schedule things in. And I found that before I had conversations with people about this, like managers have no idea that you're feeling this way. So even if you don't control your time, I would say have a conversation with people and say, hey, I really think that I work better this way, and could we try not having this meeting here, but can we move it here? The other time is just to block time out in your calendar so people can't book in, but sometimes that's not possible. And the other thing that you want to let people know is that an open schedule does not necessarily mean that you're available, okay? So I find often that people say, well, you have nothing on, so I must be able to say, hey, are you free? Can you have this meeting? Can you do this? But I find the best kind of way to, again, just have a conversation is to say, if I have an open calendar, it's not necessarily means that I'm open. It means that I need that space to create something if I've got a big project on. I think the third thing to think about when you're a maker is that not every day has to be space and maker time. So you might have a day or 2 days a week where you have this maker schedule, either a block in the morning or a block in the afternoon or a block in the evening. And then you might have other days where you schedule things. So for instance, on Mondays, I spend most of the day with my team and it's back-to-back meetings. And I know that Mondays are just going to be like that. But then I know that Tuesdays, I'm going to have Tuesday mornings to create and have space. I'm definitely going to have Thursday afternoons to do that. And I have some space on Friday. And so I think it's really important to have a little bit of flexibility in your schedule. You don't need to have open space all the time, but knowing that you need it and having some days scheduled where you are in maker mode and then other days scheduled where you're in manager mode. And the fourth tip I have for you is actually respect your own boundaries. A lot of the time I see people designing their schedule and kind of having this perfect, like, I'm going to have these maker days every day. And then as soon as a meeting comes up or if something comes up that they think, oh, I've got to go and do that, like a lot of fear and anxiety comes up around like, I have to do these things. And so you cross your own boundaries. And all I have to say about that is that if you continually cross your own boundaries and you continually book over your maker time, then other people will not respect your boundaries either. Okay, so you have to respect your boundaries first, and you have to be able to have conversations and say, hey, is there a different time we can do this meeting? Is it possible to move that? I've got this long stretch of time. I just really need some time to create and make something in that. Could we do it in the afternoons? So I hope you enjoyed today's video about manager time versus maker time. And if you are a maker, that you start to really design your days around kind of that optimal way that you create and that you make. And I guarantee you're going to love your days and love creating even more as a result. So if you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and you subscribe to the channel, because I do videos like this every week on how to live a better creative life, a better creative flow, better creative productivity, and just in general be more creative and have fun doing it.